Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Batman Arkham Knight Seasons of Infamy DLC video walkthrough. This is the Killer Croc mission, no damage on hard difficulty. We're starting off, as we have most of these, traversing the city, and the first thing you'll notice is I'm wearing a different outfit. So I need to explain this. I did not capture the beginning half of the Killer Croc DLC on my first attempt at it. I thought I was capturing, I was listening to a podcast at the time, thought I was capturing, and realised that I wasn't, which sucks because I can't go back. You know, it's a bit like Dark Souls. Once you get to a point, you can't go back in these games because they're done forever. You've got to start a new game. Luckily enough, I could have either done this on New Game Plus if I had needed to, which is a complete and utter lie because I did that in the practice run, which wouldn't have worked. But I had it on a different file, thankfully, due to the problems I had while recording my original walkthrough. So this is me recording it off of that. You'll notice I don't have the same grapnel boost, I don't have the same outfit, I don't have the same upgrades, all that kind of jank. But it doesn't matter because all I did was the early traversal and then one fight. And the fight with Nightwing against the inmates was just a really ugly fight. And you might wonder what I mean when I say an ugly fight. It was no damage, you know, I killed everybody, didn't take a hit and all that, but it wasn't good. There was a bunch of drops in it where, you know, I get robbed, as I like to call it, which some people will agree with, other people don't. And it was just those moments, you know, where I came out of a certain animation when people had a counter symbol above them. I press counter and then I'm doing that stupid karate pose because I'm not countering anybody. Or those moments where I press to do an attack or a takedown and he does it on the wrong guy. You know, just that usual kind of Arkham bullshit. I go to do B for the cape and then the double A to get rid of a shield guy, and I end up doing B to the wrong dude, and as I come down off the wrong dude, the shield guy runs past me and I get clipped. All that kind of stuff. Even though that one wouldn't be in it because that would be damage technically, but you understand what I mean. There is jank in the combat of these games, and every so often it bites you in the ass. But freeze all those emissions of gas, and then you can use the line launch to get over here. And all we're going to be doing here, folks, is freeing the people that are trapped inside the cells, because this is a flying prison that has crashed. It was holding Killer Croc, and there's actually a pretty interesting narrative as to why it was holding him. Don't expect Shakespeare or anything too detailed, because it's literally one TV screen that tells you a bunch of information and nothing else. But it's cool that it's there. So once you walk into here, you'll see a transition, you'll see Nightwing, and now this is the fight where none of these people are active, right? If you try attacking them before you see them start to move, and I don't mean move out of the cell, I mean actually move to attack you, you will not hit them. And it can lead to bad things, so don't even try. But get your momentum and then just punish them, because there's a lot of dudes. There's a problem with this game. There's always been a problem with this game, and I'd forgot it, and when I came back, I quickly learned it again. Whenever it says press left bumper to do a tag move, there are moments where it won't do it, where it'll just swap characters, or it'll just put you into these weird animations where nothing's happening, but you can't take damage. It doesn't happen that often, thankfully, but it happens a lot to me, because I'm an unlucky guy. And I don't know if you'll see any of that in this, but hopefully we'll get to see something. Like, I had it so much in the Croc fight at the end, not even funny. Just instances where I press to do takedowns, and my guy doesn't go to somebody, even though there's somebody to go to. You know, just those weird moments where the detection just misses. And it is really rare. It's 99% of the time it's spot on, but that 1%, every time it happens, it really sticks in my fucking craw. But I don't know if you'll see it on this, because this looks like it's going okay. So is it... That was lucky, that, but it looked good. Yeah, you didn't see anything on that, other than a combo drop. I take that back, actually, guys. I just watched that back. I dropped my combo, and the more observant people will be watching. I came out of that reverse beatdown, and I threw ice at a guy, but it killed the combo meter. So that's an interesting one. I'm not too sure why it did that, but it did, you know. I thought using gadgets, if they hit, was a guaranteed combo extender. Maybe it missed, and that's why it dropped. It is a mystery that somebody who's more observant and more knowledgeable at this moment on this game will probably be able to answer. But that's another one of those things, isn't it? You know, you trust the game. In a game that aims for you, you trust it to do its job. And this goes back to my discussion that I had in the Catwoman DLC. you really don't have as much control as you wish you could in these kind of combat games. And I'm really excited to see what Rocksteady does next, because you know they're going to have an evolution of this combat system. And I just hope that they let us... I don't know how you would, as there's a transition back to my other footage right there. Now I'm wearing the suit that I should have been wearing, and we can continue on with my actual recorded first attempt at this walkthrough, which is going to lead us all the way over there and into a couple of fights. Nothing too bad. It's pretty interesting, actually. I still don't know why they don't let you change characters to play the campaign. They've added all these features in this game to play as the different characters in the AR missions, which you know they held back just so they could sell them to us. But it's... look at the campaign. The campaign is a sequence of missions and then this entire city to do all the side stuff. Would it really be so difficult to just change the character? You can keep the cutscenes the same. We're not looking for you to design new cutscenes. Just let me beat the game as Azrael. Let me beat the game as Nightwing, you know? That would add so much life to this game. It really would, because it doesn't take much, guys. You know? I'll bring it back to Yakuza again, because Yakuza's kind of like this. Yakuza is the same game every time, slightly different. And they've usually got pretty strong stories, or for the people who really like Yakuza, they enjoy the stories a lot. And they'll have, you know, slight nudges to differences that keep it reminiscent, but kinda new. And the big thing you notice, if you've played a few of them, is the combat. The combat's been the same on almost every game. Like, the first Yakuza and Yakuza 5 have intrinsically the same combat. The differences are levels of polish and extensions of existing mechanics. And although it's only slight tweaks, it makes a big difference because of just how good those tweaks have been. It's still not perfect, it's incredibly flawed, but it's advanced a lot, even though they haven't really done that much. And the thing is, like every single Yakuza game, when you play as Kazuma Kiryu, he has the 1 square triangle, the 2 square triangle, the 3 square triangle, the 4 square triangle. And in every game, it's the same. Like, pretty much the same. There might be a little tweak here, a little tweak there, but it's the same. And it's the heat moves that generally are different. Like, in the first game, he does this where he grabs them and he slams them into the wall, and then they fall down. In the second game, he grabs the head, he hits it into the wall, and then he knees it into the wall. And it's just slightly different, but it makes a difference. And that's what they've done, and they've been really successful doing that because it feels great, it looks great, and it's fun. That's kind of what Batman games are, you know? When you swap characters, when you're playing as a different character, it's pretty much the same game. It's just all the animations are different, and if something looks pretty and it looks different, it's enough to convince you that you're not doing the same thing, you're doing something slightly new. And I'm saying it right now, I would make a full walkthrough of the game with each of the different characters. And there might be people like, Chris, stop posting Arkham, we don't want to watch it, play something else. But I would love to play it because I really, really like the fighting in this game. I like this game a lot. And I like playing as those other characters. And if we could do the full campaign, and each of the characters had, you know, all the moves, so all the gadgets that Batman would have, but their version of those gadgets, all the takedowns that Batman has, but their versions of them, I would be laughing, because I think it'd be great. And what I would probably end up doing is trimming out absolutely everything, all the traversal, everything that's not fighting, predator, or puzzle. And I'd have it like that. And I'd probably go for like a no damage run of the campaign, which is what I actually didn't do on my original run. It was just a walkthrough. And I was really inspired to make more from this game, but there wasn't really much to do. And at that point, there was other games coming out, and there wasn't much demand on my channel for more Batman, because people were enjoying it, but, you know, I wouldn't say anybody went completely crazy over it. And I did. That was the funny thing. You know, I 100%ed the game, did all the combat challenges, got all the 3 stars on every one of them, and I even went back to Arkham Origins because I wanted to play more Batman, and this game wasn't satisfying my Batman. And ironically now, we've got all these AR missions and all this stuff at a point when I don't care about this game anymore, I've moved on. But back when I was deep in it, you know, like in the first month or 2 of its release, when I wanted to play it a lot, it wasn't there. And I think that's the fundamental failure of a lot of DLCs. I think sometimes they put it out too soon in the grand scheme of things, and other times they wait too long. And it really is a gut feeling of which is right and which is wrong. But this is the Croc boss. This is kind of awkward too. You might be wondering, why is it awkward? Well, this is not difficult, guys. The only reason this is remotely challenging is because of detection. Detection on the dual takedown is absolute dog shit. There'll be moments in this fight where it doesn't work. It happened to me a dozen times. There will be moments where you're doing the final quick time against Croc, and if you're too close to a wall, it'll go through the wall with the camera and you can't see what's happening. It's a quick time event. It's asking you to defend yourself using buttons, and you cannot see the fucking thing that's happening. It's bizarre, but you can get around it. All I did was mash both X and Y at the same time, just mash them like alternately. But the easiest way to do this is beatdowns. Beatdowns will build up your tag team gauge incredibly quickly. Once you've got it up, use it and do big moves against Croc. All you have to do is build your combo, get a tag move, use a tag move on him, do it till he dies. It's that simple. But watch this, right? I'm just building it like I've told you. Couple of combos, and then I'm going to do a beatdown. Start the beatdown, watch it fill the bar now. Fill, and watch. I'm going to press it now. See this? Oh, that's not the right one. My bad. It might be on the other one. I hope it isn't. Oh, I think it might be shit. Anyway, so this is the point where you're going to be fighting him and dodging him. You can squeeze way more attacks out of this sequence than I'm doing, but I'm playing really safe. And of course, the graphics go all fucked up again as the camera goes through the wall. So if this happens to you, just press all the buttons and just be aware, when you get control after this massive cutscene that you can't see right now, there's going to be people in the room still attacking you if you haven't killed all of them. And if they hit you, you'll have to do the full boss again, because it happened to me twice. So right now, get out of there. Just do a jump immediately and start dealing with people. And be very careful doing what I just did then. Whenever you do the Batmarang or the Batclaw takedown, if anybody's initiated an attack and you're still in recovery frames, you cannot dodge it or block it. You are a sitting duck. As I drop my combo there, and on another moment where it probably could have been held if the game was more responsive. But I've got a fail video coming out for this, where I do that fight and I get hit at the end after I've killed Croc, which is really frustrating, because I think I had a better combo as well than I did just then, and it could have been a really nice run, but you know, it's just sod's law, isn't it? Also, watch this! So I skip that cutscene, it starts playing the ending, and then the ending crashes. So I have to quit the game, because the game is in a soft lock state right now. It will not progress at all, regardless of what I press. And you know when I pressed continue after this? It was before I'd beaten Croc. So if you're somebody who's having a lot of trouble on this fight, and you get that, you'll have to do it again, which would suck. But yeah, janky, guys, really janky. But that is the Season of Infamy DLC. Is it worth the money? Probably not. I had a lot of fun with it, because I really like this game. But the Season Pass, it just wasn't worth it, was it? And it's sad to say that if each of the DLCs had have been like this, and there'd have been 3 or 4 packages of this, it might have been something more different. But as it stands, you can't just push pre-existing shit that should have been in the game when it launched later on and expect people to thank you for it, because it's not value, it's robbery.